Hi my loves, it's me, and if you're already subscribed here, you know that all we talk about on this channel is how to enter, maintain, and pour into our most fulfilling, passionate, exciting lives and how to love our life. And so I'm sure you're aware that 2025 is right around the corner, or if you are watching this video in 2025, then it's already here. We have so many goals and dreams that we're going to accomplish this year or this upcoming year, but something that I've learned in this past year is that in order to reach those goals and dreams, it takes a lot of dedication and a lot of locking in and zoning in. So this upcoming year, we're going to be productive. So let's talk about a productive habit to bring into the year 2025. And that's entering the flow state. I studied the flow state for quite a bit in this past year, and I applied it to multiple areas of my life, and I've seen myself grow in all of those areas. And now I am more prepared and more at peace and more passionate about moving into this next upcoming year and applying this same productive method into 2025. The flow state is the experience of being engaged into something that excites you so much that you become your most productive self. You lose a sense of time, a sense of space, and almost a sense of existence because you're focused in on this one task, and it's giving you so much excitement and so much passion that all of your attention is focused on this moment right now, on this specific task. So nothing else matters. The future, the past, what's going on around your life. The only thing that matters is that specific task you're working on, and you enter into a state of flow. Therefore, in the state of flow, you are at your most productive and peaceful state, which is healthy for you in all areas of your life, not just for you mentally and physically, but as you're pouring into your goals as well. Now, the flow state doesn't have to be just about completing a physical task. You can use it in all areas of your life, like I said, not just physical, but also mental and spiritually as well. For example, this past year, I did not use the flow state just for editing my video and growing my YouTube channel. I also use it for psychological, physical, and spiritual and emotional growth. I reached a place of peace that provided me into a more peaceful space throughout the entire year. Therefore, I was able to reach and tackle multiple goals that I had for this past year. So that meant healing from my past, manifesting my future, focusing on specific goals that I have, and getting closer to God, and switching my mindset from thinking from a less productive and negative thoughts to more productive and healthier, passionate thoughts, and pouring into myself in that way. And so I'm going to continue using the flow state for this upcoming year, and I'm imploring you to do the same as well. So let's discuss what we can use the flow state for and how to enter the flow state. Let's say you're trying to heal from your past, or you're trying to focus on creating a more positive mindset. Or maybe you're trying to pass some exams or finish school strong with a high GPA. Or you're trying to start a business or be more productive at your current job. Or just simply, but more complex, you just want to elevate your life in all areas. Flow state helps you step into all of these tasks without no distraction, while giving you passion to complete these tasks, therefore making it more exciting for you. Now, how do we enter into the flow state? It's suggested to find an activity that gives you excitement and brings you happiness. But as we all know, when reaching or pursuing our goals and doing the things required to reach those goals, a lot of those things are not as exciting in the moment. So instead, we're going to enter into a place of manifestation before we enter the flow state. And this is so we can walk in a more desirable space and therefore make this task more interesting for us. Let's say you're trying to pass an exam or start that new business, and that requires a lot of time and energy, a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and a lot of activities where you have to just focus, a lot of research and sleepless nights. So before we enter into that space, take 5 to 10 minutes to sit down and think about your why. Envision yourself, manifest and place yourself into that goal, that higher goal that you have in that dream. You're going to either close your eyes, you can write it down, speak it, manifest, think it, but whatever it is, place yourself and think about your why. What is the lifestyle that you want? What is the goal that you're looking for? And you're going to intentionally place yourself into that space. So you're not going to focus on passing the exam or starting the business, but why are you passing the exam, and why are you starting that business? Like, what is the bigger picture, the overall picture? It should ignite that fire within you and get you excited and remind you of why you're doing all of this. And once you place yourself into this space, it's going to recenter yourself and give you more excitement towards this task that you have to do. And yes, this task that you have to focus on for 1 to 4 hours, 1 to 5 hours. The same with healing and healing your mentality. You have to sit down and place yourself into a higher place, a more healthier, healing place. Because these places already exist, the goals that you're going for is already existing. It's in the future and it's there. We just have to walk towards it and reach it. That should give you more meaning and purpose in the current task that you're working on to help you get to that place. So it's not just the exam that you're taking, but this is a piece of the puzzle. This is an exam that you're taking for your goal. Now, we can't be in a flow state for every single moment of 2025. It's actually very intense and it puts you in a trance, and it's actually hard to maintain that trance at times. But we have to break it up in portions, and that's something that I learned. So number 2, we're going to dedicate time for the flow and dedicate time for the flow state. We have to plan it out because we have to dedicate 5 to 10 minutes beforehand to manifest and place ourselves in a higher space, remind ourselves of the why before we enter into the flow state. So I would suggest planning out 1 to 4 hours and put that in your calendar, and that is your time for you to enter into this space of flow. And the better you get at it, you know, maybe all you need is just an hour. But for me, when I first started, I needed at least 2 hours, 3 hours to really enter that flow state and enjoy the task. It requires time. And anything that has high priority in our life, we block it out and set time aside for that. Especially, I'm a big advocate for this, especially when it involves healing ourselves mentally and emotionally. A lot of the times we try to run from those emotions or run from that healing, or it's just simply just hard to sit with ourselves as we're healing. Once you put that time in the calendar and say, okay, this is a time I'm going to sit with myself and I'm going to manifest, I'm going to work on myself mentally. Once you put that in the calendar, it's not as easy to back out of it instead of just saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna work on myself mentally this Saturday at, you know, in the afternoon. But if you put it on the calendar and you communicate with the people in your life and you set a timer for you to actually sit down, it becomes a high priority. So now that you put it in your calendar and you know that you have to manifest 5 to 10 minutes before entering the flow state, now you have to also eliminate all distractions while you're in this space of flow. And that's why it's so important to put in your calendar so that you can plan ahead of time to eliminate any distractions that may come. So that means no texting, no phone calls, no walking around the house trying to complete small tasks. Because when we try to sit down and work on certain things while trying to be productive, if you're anything like me, your mind just starts going from one place to the other. And so the flow state helps you focus and zone in on one thing. So the best thing to do, what I do, is that I eliminate all distractions. I put my phone on do not disturb, and then I make sure I manifest. I make sure I clear my mind and purge myself from thoughts that I don't need, negative thoughts, what if, negativity. And I make sure that I lock in. And I also communicate with my family and friends and say, hey, I'm doing something from this time, or I'm blocking in, focusing. And so unless there's an emergency, whenever distractions happen within the flow state, it's easy to release you from that space, and then you kind of lose control over that higher image that you had in your head. It distracts you from that manifestation that you had not too long ago. And so you don't want to do that, because that's not what the flow state is. The flow state is locking in and actually manifesting, envisioning this purpose that you have. So the distractions pull you away from the task at hand, and it makes you more mentally aware. Because remember, the flow state is like, it's a trance. It's like you kind of lose sense of time. You don't know what time it is. You lose a sense of space. You kind of don't care where you are. You're not worried about the past or future. You're in this moment. But when you allow the distractions to come in, it makes you more aware mentally, and it takes you away from that task and more about, your environment around you and what you have to do 10 minutes from now or an hour from now, or what happened in the past. And we don't want that. That's going to take us away from our goal. It's not going to put us in a productive state. So step 4 is entering the flow state. This is when you be your most creative, your most productive, your most genuine self, when you're in this flow state. It literally feels like you're standing in that space that you manifested not too long ago. And because it gives you so much fire and ignites you so much, that's the only thing that's on your mind. And it's so powerful and it's so intense, which is why we have to break it up into segments, is that you're going to want to remain in this space for a while. And so as you're in the flow state, you're going to understand your assignment. You're going to understand that it's up to you to reach your goals. You're going to understand that nobody's going to distract you. You're not going to let anyone or anything distract you. You're not going to let anything poison your mindset as you're in this flow state. And I'll be transparent with you if you stuck around this far. I used the flow state on a lot of physical tasks, but this past year, I really used it on myself in a more psychological way and spiritual way. I realized that I had a lot of healing to do from the past, and that I wanted to correct my mindset of, instead of having so many insecurities and negative thoughts and thinking about my past, I wanted to replace that with more positive, healing, productive thoughts. And now I can enter into this next year in a more productive manner now that I'm getting the hang of the flow state. But doing that required a lot of time. And so for me, I used the flow state not just for the physical exercises, but I used it to enter into manifestation and a spiritual connection with God. I would sit down and schedule time, sit down, and I will manifest. And I would think about what it is I want, the goal, the lifestyle that I wanted, the bigger picture. And I would listen to music, I would turn the lights off, and I would just sit there. And I really do believe that God speaks to us when we just sit and listen, which is another reason why the flow state is important. But I would use that, and I would just enter into this space, and that fire within me would be ignited. And all of the negative thoughts that I had, the past, the hurt, whatever it was, it no longer mattered. It was all in the past. I'm now in a much more peaceful space because I understood my assignment. I understood the bigger purpose. Using the flow state in a psychological and spiritual way keeps you in a peaceful state throughout the entire year if you practice it. And when we're in a more peaceful state, we can be in a more productive state, and we can really zone in and accomplish the goals and dreams that we have. So I really implore you to research the flow state, look it up, and practice using the flow state to help you be more productive and to reach the goals that you have. So 2025 is our year, and we're going to be more productive this year. We are going to reach these goals, and that lifestyle, that goal that we have, we're already going to get there, but we have to handle these small individual tasks in order to get there. So I hope this video helps you, and I'll try to do more videos on entering the flow state as I'm still learning myself. But as always, I just want to remind you that you are loved and valued here on this channel, and thank you again so much for checking this video out. So I love you, and you got this, okay?